What's going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to the full view, the real full view with us guys here at UVHQ, the little bite-sized episodes to get you through the international break. Kind of, remember GCSE bite-size?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. If you don't live in England, obviously GCSEs are our big educational things, pressure on the kids. But there used to be this thing called GCSE bite-sized, little small manageable chunks to get your teeth into to help you through your revision. And that's basically what we're doing here throughout the international break. Today's episode, Anthony Martial, the forgotten man.
Yep.
Some people are saying who in the studio? Ooh. Who's that? What is an Anthony Martial? What is that?
What is that?
Where is this player? But what I want to know from you guys and you lot in here is, can Martial impact on the back end of this season? Cam, we're going to start with you. Can he have a say? Can he give us something? Can he get us over the line? Can he help us?
Yes, he can. It's what he's got such a unique skill set that genuinely no one else in the squad has. Absolutely, it's something that the way he takes the ball under pressure, the way he can draw defenders and still get on the turn and play in other players, the way he's still decent in front of goal, not quite as good as he was when he first came through. His conversion rate was ridiculous for a good few seasons. It's now dropped back to a more normal level. But the skill set he's got in terms of linking up with other players, but still being a threat beyond the last line, the ability he's got to just knit everything together and make every single other player in that team better is crazy. And the way his partnership with Bruno is fantastic. Because when he drops in, Bruno goes in behind. It's like they're telepathic. That's the sort of relationship you need on the pitch. But with all that said, the best form of what is it? The best ability. I can't speak. The best ability you've got is availability, yeah. So he's not got that in his locker, but he's got everything else, which is why it's so frustrating, because I genuinely don't think, if you could keep Martial fit for every single game of the season, I don't think there are too many strikers in the world who fit the profile of what Ten Hag wants to do and improve the level of everyone else around them more than he does. Because yes, since he bulked up a little bit to play as a 9 under Ollie, he has got a little bit slower, lost a little bit of his explosiveness, but he's still got enough on the physical side that he's good enough there. He's quicker than Kane, he's probably more agile, a little bit better in tight spaces, possibly even as well, but he's also got the technical ability as well. I don't think there's many players that have what he's got. So if he's fit, if he's available, yes, he can impact us, and yes, he can elevate our game to the next level.
Interesting. I'm gonna do a little bit of it rather than just go like that. I'll go over to there then back and forth.
Problem.
Marcel, Anthony Martial.
Tony Martial.
What I mean, Cam's has said it there. There's not really many players who can do what he does. There's gonna be people at home right now after listening to Cam's opening statement, screaming at the screen saying he's saying he's done. He's over. Sell him. Why? There's equal going to be people saying what you just said there. He can do that. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I agree with what Cam's saying. I thought you were saying that obviously people wouldn't be agreeing with what.
Because it's like this, isn't it? It's like 50. Some people are like, sell him, waste the money, it's over, it's finished. And some people are like, no, listen, Ten Hag can do something there. What are you saying?
Do you know what? So for this season, yes, but I even think even beyond this season, I would say even keep him. I genuinely think, like what Cam is saying, he's got the ability to fit the system well enough. If he can progress and get fit, like how Varane had a poor season last season, and then he got fit this season and has been able to stay fit. And look at the wonderful impact Varane's had to the team and the structure. So, so I think Tony Martial could potentially do that next season as well. Harry Kane's definitely an upgrade on Martial for me. But Tony Martial, like Cam is saying, has got special qualities, beyond before and beyond the forward line. Coming deep, that false nine kind of ability. Harry Kane's got that as well. But if we can see Martial for maybe 2 or 3 games this season in important moments, he's done that. He's appeared for Everton for a few moments and contributed.
Got assist.
Yes, as soon as he's playing, he contributes. For Man City, turn-ups, contributes, scores. So if he can do that for us in key moments, 2 or 3 games this season, 100%.
So you think the rest of the season he can, at the back end, coming out of the international break, you think he can actually...
Eriksen should be on his way
back. He's been training. He's been in training for a good...
for a while.
Obviously, this is an extended period of making sure and training. So he's got to be ready when we come out of the break.
Eriksen should be back for us. Positive. Martial should be back for us. Positive. 100%, man. I think he can contribute for this season and beyond. Because I know some people in front of the team were saying, get rid of him for next season.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand. But I think he can contribute this season.
Okay, I'm going to go back to this side before coming back to Steph. DJ, verdict, can Martial help us for the rest of the season, or is it just nah?
I think he can, but he won't. He won't. I think, you know what, it's the fact that there's so much games, we're seeing the players now, some of our most fittest players right now, literally running on empty. To put him into that sort of worker schedule, he's just going to break down again in my eyes. And we're talking about if. We've been speaking about Martial for how many years? 5, 6 years now? Like, we've said if a lot of times about him. And he'll turn up one season, go missing the next. Turn up one, have an injury. And it's just repetitive now. And I just think, you know what? Yeah, we'll come back. I just don't think he can have that required impact on the team. I think the games are going to be too robust. I think there's just so much football to be going on with. And I think we're asking a lot for him to keep fit within that time frame, because the reality is this: he could come back for 1 or 2 games. You said, 2-3 games? Yeah. To me, he's a Manchester United football player. He's got to produce more than 2 and 3 games.
He hasn't completed 9 minutes all season.
Yeah.
And that's a massive... That's what red flags. That's a massive red flag. All season, he ain't done 90 minutes. Yeah. I'm willing to cut my losses. He's an amazing player in a sense of, you're right, Cam, he ticks all the boxes what Ten Hag needs. If you want, he does give you a bit of what Kane can do, but he can also give you we're looking at the Osmans of this world. He's got that, he can still threaten him behind if he needs to. So he's that kind of all-round striker, but I just don't think he's physically up to being that guy for us.
Could we put this down to an anomaly of a season of how injured he has been, or is this because he's been injured before, but what we're seeing this season, that's I can't believe it.
It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse.
So you can't
I need to strap myself in when you said, I'll keep him and be on next season. First of all, this is a false argument. I feel like it's a false argument because you're saying, would you keep him? Can he impact for the rest of the season? Well, no, he can't, because we've just seen, if you look at his track record, you literally just flick him and he falls down. He's made of glass, right? So how can he possibly impact the rest of our season when he'll come back? Listen, I don't care what people say, they clip me up. He's going to come back, play 20 minutes of one game, get injured. Do you remember that game when he came back after injury? He lasted 20 minutes.
It was the Everton one.
Yeah, exactly. What I'm saying... We need a search warrant because this guy is MIA. Literally, that's what we need. He's been missing. Where is he? Where's he gone? He just vanished.
So this can't be the time that, because he has been out for this amount of time, that Ten Hag can get something out of him to the end of the season. Bearing in mind, we have got Wout Weghorst now, so he doesn't have to play all of the games, doesn't have to play 90 minutes, and he can come on for 20 minutes here, come off after 65 minutes. I'm not saying we're going to get the best version, but I'm saying, can he help us?
No, because he's not reliable. He's not.
So you think even asking for that is too much from him?
It's too reliable. What? Okay, look. You said help or impact. I'm concentrating on, honing in on the word impact. Can he impact for the
Both, yeah.
He can do in 20 minutes what other players can't do in 90. So yes,
you're telling me between now and the end of the season, all comps, all games, right? You're telling me that he's going to make more of an impact and not get injured between now and the end of the season? Do you honestly think, answer that?
I actually wouldn't be surprised if between now and the end of the season he picks up more goal contributions than Weghorst does. In terms of pure goals and assists, I wouldn't be surprised.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
And yet, but you just said that he hasn't even played a full 90 minutes.
He hasn't, and here's another thing for you.
Okay, hang on. Let me break this down.
He won't complete 90 minutes.
He doesn't need 90 minutes.
But now he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Okay, so now he doesn't need to, but that's what I'm saying, honing on the word impact. So you're basically telling me he won't play you think that he won't play a full 90 minutes between now and the end of the season. He'll contribute with a couple of goals in a 45-minute period and half a game and get injured. So you're telling me that, so that's a big impact.
He scores 2 goals. 2 goals in 45 minutes is a big impact.
How is that an impact? That's not an impact.
2 goals in 45 minutes is an impact. No, you can't say that's not an impact.
No, but what I'm saying to you is we have other players who are able to do that.
My whole thing is...
Yeah, we do.
But Weghorst isn't doing that, and he's playing 90 minutes every game.
Since he's joined.
So that's the thing. That's the thing. How are we measuring impact? Because if he comes back for 3 games, let's say he scores in all 3 games and provides assist and gets injured for the rest of the season, did he truly make an impact?
I think this about Martial. Like I just said, I don't think he's...
You guys...
I wonder what Steph thinks about Martial. Should we ask what she was...
No, the thing is, it's I don't hate the guy, but I'm sitting here thinking, how am I in a room of people who...
Here's why. I think the arrival of Weghorst has changed this. Yeah. So here's the thing for me. Do I think we should cut our losses with Anthony Martial in the long term? I personally do think we should. I do. I think that, like you said, he needs to be available. We need players who are going to be at it. And Ten Hag liked him clearly liked him. That hand was forced because Ronaldo wasn't there, but I think he would have decided Ronaldo wasn't for him anyway. And he showed us in pre-season that he liked Martial and really wanted to play. And any time he has played, like you said, it's very limited, but we can see we are a better team. But I think with the arrival of Weghorst and now this stupidly long layoff where it's like extra caution to the wind, where he's been training solidly for a couple of weeks. I saw him first on the grass by himself that was the Barcelona open training session we did, when he was by himself. Then week after that, he's been in the full team training every week. And I've seen him sitting next to us in the press box, like just to the side, even though he's been training. So that clearly is Ten Hag saying, we've got Weghorst who's going to be available. We all see the limitations in Weghorst's game, 100%. Yep. But that allows Martial even more time, so I don't have to drop him in. I'm going to make sure he's ready. I think what my forecast of what's going to happen with Martial, I don't think he's going to come back and get injured. I think he's going to come back, still not be the starter, come on, have an impact, or start and not complete the games because they're just going to manage him. I still don't think he's going to complete in 90 minutes. But I like what you're saying, Cam, in terms of the things he can do. Let's look, Weghorst and Martial, let's talk, because Weghorst, we're loving his work rate and he works well for the team. Look, we've had him on the channel. He's a great guy. He's living his dream. If we're really being honest, guys, he shouldn't be there. Yeah. Okay?
Shouldn't be there, but is available.
Right, but that's why we don't get onto him. That's why we're not cussing. Yeah. He is giving us just somebody to be up there, do doggies, run from the left back to the centre back to the right back, chase after everything. Yeah. And actually, he by his own standards, he should have got more goals. He's been in the position.
Definitely.
But the quality between him and Martial is obviously chalk and cheese versus the availability, which is also chalk and cheese. So I just think that Ten Hag will strike a formula for this, because this is only for the back end of the season. It's only 11 Premier League games plus whatever we do in the Cups. I just think that he will find a way to keep starting Weghorst, then take him off, change the game with Martial, and vice versa. I think he'll manage it.
For me, arguably, Weghorst should be in the 10. For me, I think he does. I think he plays better in the 10. In terms of keeping the ball and knitting the play and bringing people in. He plays better deeper than he plays as a 9.
Listen, let me just break it down. What kind of impact? Answer me this. What kind of impact does Martial have from a hospital bed? What kind of impact?
No, but that's what I'm saying. We're saying we don't think he's going to be injured.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't think he's going to be injured? Why do you think that? I've got a question. This is not even rhetorical. Why do you think that Martial has been training by himself so that no one fucking touches him and he falls down and breaks his leg? That's why he's training by himself.
This has been a mad thing that there is that something has happened in his body.
I wanted to ask, what's the diagnosis though? Yeah. Do we know the diagnosis?
Yeah, I don't know
different things every time. He said.
What I want to say is, there's a lot of, I think
that's what the diagnosis is.
No,
Steph's onto him.
People have been glossing over the whole thing of the situation that Ollie put a lot of the players under. Now, he's told Martial when he was told he was going to play at 9, he's made him bulk up, and then he's suddenly playing him on the wing here and there again, asking and sort of expecting him to still be as explosive, as quick off the mark as he was. Has he just put too much strain through Martial's body and his joints? Because now, if we're asking him to play as a 9, but we're asking him for those explosive moments, getting on the half turn really quickly, we're asking him to be able to take a ball fizzed in at max pace and then still be able to beat 2 or 3 players straight away. The amount of load that he's putting through his body when he's being asked to bulk up and then get smaller again because he's playing on the wing this time and then he's playing up top again, the amount of stuff that he's been asked to go through, it's like putting him through sort of 2 or 3 different iterations of being the same player. So it is going to have an impact on your bones, on your joints. That is obviously going to result in more injuries. It's the same thing with Marcus Rashford. Ollie played him into the ground because it's that situation in football where if he didn't, he probably would have got sacked much earlier. But it's ended up with our players being in a situation now where they are injury prone and there are those risks associated with footballers. I think people gloss over the way Martial's actually been treated. And we sort of say these injuries as if it's something he's responsible for, when actually the way the club's treated him, the way that the demands we've placed on him were probably a little bit too much at certain points. It's probably the actions of the club, the way that previous managers have behaved that have led him to this position where he is now. Because you're not born injury prone. I don't think anyway. I think some things have to.
King, mate, ask that Darren Anderton.
I think certain things have to happen to get you there, though.
What about the other players, though? Because it's not just him. Everyone else is managed by the same managers.
He's the only one that's been asked to go through this transformation that's so drastic. If you remember how much bigger he had to get to play as a 9 compared to how skinny he was playing on the wing when he was able to be explosive. That is a huge transformation for anyone to go through. And expect him to hit the ground running and still doing the same thing, still shift his weight in the same way, is a ridiculous expectation to have.
All right, well, here's one for you then, because I think the reason why Martial is also getting treated like this though you were talking about how he's been treated, is because of the lack of credit in the bank. Because one thing what we can discuss, one side is what you're saying about this drastic drop-off of fitness, of wow, this is insane. Physiologically, you know, what's going on, you know, science-wise. Then, though, if we just take a step back and judge this over its entirety, since he's been here, how many question marks have we had over Martial being the guy? How many times have we waited to see the guy? Apart from his first season when he first came in was brilliant. Then he had that good scoring season. Was it 2021? Or was it 21-20? I think it was 19-20. I can't remember.
I think 19-20.
There was one where him and Rashford had a really good one. It was the one, I think, just after he got shirt back when Ibra left. Or was
this
Lukaku?
NHS Martial lockdown?
It could have been just then. I can't.
NHS
people in the comments will know the exact. I always get mixed up with different seasons and stuff, but you know what I mean. He had that other season where he was good, But then again, it went back to.
Is he really done?
He's there, but we. And is he doing enough in the games? You know, some people say about the laziness, some people say about that.
Yeah, this is the
so from a tactical point of view, you like what he does, but then other sides.
a proper system with some structure, and he. Like the level he was playing at the start of the season, pre-season, those sorts of times, and the rest of the team wasn't even fully set in what they were supposed to be doing yet. You bring him in now, if he can stay fit, he's unbelievable. No one else can take a ball fizzed in at the pace he can and still get on the half turn, still knit the ball together, still find other players in pockets of space. He's able to do that, commit 2 or 3 players, and then ship it off to someone else out wide with a good weighted pass. There's not many players that can do that.
He's actually a good passer.
It's irrelevant because you just said if he was fit. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm honing in on. Not in a rude way, Cam, but I just did not pay attention to anything you said after if he's fit. Because we all know that he's not. So if you're
you're saying you just don't believe that. So basically, obviously, he's going on 27 now. This is if we just took it from the player perspective, he's probably thinking, what's happened to me? Because honestly, I know the one thing I'd agree on is the question marks we've had over Martial. When is he going to arrive? If you ask rival fans about him, it's like, on his day, but it's like the Pogba thing. It's like, on his day could do this, but you don't really see it consistently. That's the thing. That's the schema around Martial. Sometimes he can do wicked, cutting from the left, bend it in. Other times, don't even recognise he's there. So, but now. It's more like this injury thing. I've never seen anything. He wasn't as injured as this before.
It's never been this bad. And I think for me, if he used to come back, not that Ten Hag really owes the world anything, but I'd like to know what was the diagnosis. If Ten Hag says it was a hamstring,
he says it's something different every time. It's the hip, the back,
and that's
the this,
why
the that. Everything's failed on him.
And that's why
he's broken. He's broken.
He's broken this year.
He's like a Lego man. He's moving like a Lego man. So it's like. It's like, can we rely on that? We can't really rely on that. If it's injury A, injury B, C, D, all the way up to bloody E, F, G, one of those can flare up at any minute. One bad challenge, and again, that's what I'm saying. The fixtures and the schedule that he's going to be going into, that's a lot of football. Do you know what I mean?
So in terms of what Flex was saying in terms of credit in the bank, there's a really interesting point in that.
Doesn't really have a lot of it.
He doesn't have it. No, I've been saying
if this was Bruno who popped down with an injury like this for the whole year, we'd be like, don't worry, man. He's going to cut. Do you know what I mean? But no one's saying that about Martial.
He'll hit a certain standard, he'll hit a certain level. I've always kind of said that Martial, he doesn't look like someone that hits 25 to 20 goals a season. Manchester United number 9s need to be able to do that. So there is that kind of element of things. But in terms of a backup striker, that's why I would say that I would want him into next season because of the style that he has. It's a very unique style. I think you can keep him as a backup striker and have the Harry Kanes in the one that's a proper creme de la creme, 20-goal season goal scorer.
Number one.
That would be on him. But what could go in his favour? It depends how Martial sees it. He could say, I've literally had a year out. I need to calm down, get myself back in this squad and go like that. Or he could go, they've just bought Vlahovic, they've just bought Kane, they've just bought Osimhen. This Garnacho kid's doing really well on the left-hand side. Rashford's the main guy there. I ain't ever going to play. He might. We don't know how he's going to think. We don't know. I just think he can have a space this season. I like what you're saying there because ideally, if you think about it, if we go and get a wicked striker in the summer, which we have to, and then you say in back up to that to come into certain games as Martial, because he's fit, that's strong. Maybe that's what the problem has always been, that we've got someone like Martial being our main guy to get us 20 goals, and he actually isn't that.
So quick question, just on that then. Let's say he becomes that sort of like bit part striker as and when we need. You bring in your number one striker in the summer. Would you keep Weghorst? And I know that's a whole separate conversation, but would you keep Weghorst then? Yes. Because then if Martial does sort of break down again,
it's going to be rotation. Ten Hag's been brilliant at this the whole season, rotating players. Tony Marshall can play across the front three. We now know Wout can play in the 10. And Wout and Tony Marshall kind of combination is really important as well, because we know Tony Marshall doesn't really press enough. Somebody else to do the work for him. Maybe Bruno on the right there. Ten Hag's brilliant at bringing a combination of players together.
Marcel? Cam, should we keep...
I think you say he doesn't press enough. I think he does... If you played him on the wing, yes, you'd have a problem.
Anthony Martial,
as a striker, I think for the system and the way we try to press, I think Martial knows what he's doing and he does it well enough. What the striker's got to do is get across to the centre back on whatever side the ball is. That's their job. They're probably not going to win the ball back, but that is their job every time they get it. On strikers, though, the man I want to get is Evan Ferguson from Brighton.
I knew he was going to say him at some stage. Yeah. That's such a tactician-based thing.
He's so young as well. A brilliant player. And if he was...
Big Man United, straight away, go get this young kid now.
He's fantastic.
Yeah,
if we got him as a backup to Harry Kane, not as going to happen.
Okay.
I think he could start for us now. I think he's good enough. But I think as a backup to someone like Harry Kane, a couple of years, feed him in slowly. Get rid of Martial, get rid of Weghorst.
Yeah.
Ferguson and Kane, unbelievable.
Okay. Ironically, on the next episode, we will be talking about who we should sell in the summer, actually. So that's a nice little segue into that. It's almost like list. That is the Martial chat done. I feel like it's not actually done. I still feel we could have done like an hour on that. You guys are going to be saying, I don't know what. I hate to think what is going to be going on at home. There's going to be people screaming, go, no, like what you're saying. No, he's done. He's busted. No, he's over. People saying what you're saying. Can you get him fit? Like what you're saying, can you get him fit, etc., etc. Let us know what you think in the comments. Can Martial impact the rest of this season? The question wasn't, should Man United keep him? It was, can he have an impact on the rest of this season? 11 or 12 so Premier League games and or whatever cups we managed to stay in / get to the final of and win. Fingers crossed. Take care. See you on the next episode where we'll be, like I said, talking about who Manchester United should sell in the summer. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.